Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so, and I see, Araceli, it says 13 attendees, but I can't see names listed other than the panelists. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, welcome everybody to the informational webinar that we're having this evening. We are going to talk about the online engineering competition and mentoring. I've asked John Allen to join us and share a little bit about the student chapters. I've asked Patricia to join us and share a little bit about the young professionals because these events really target that group of students and young professionals. So we're excited to make these offerings. These are things that are new for SUT. We've been working on these things for the last, I'd say, 9 months, and we're pleased to offer them and be kicking them off. So I'm going to turn it over to John now and let him talk to us a little bit about the student chapters. John?
I'm here, right. I've got some slides though, so I guess Araceli will put those up. Yeah, greetings everybody, particularly those that are in the student chapters of the SUT. I'm John Allen, I'm the chairman of the SUT Education Committee, including student chapters. So for some of you that are active in those student chapters, you'll recognize this sort of thing. The person in the middle is Steve Hall, who's the outgoing president of the SUT globally. This was shot, I think, at Rice University with members from Texas A&M, Galveston, Texas A&M College Station, and I think University of Houston, correct. If you can see from the list here, we've got branches in those places, as well as most recently Prairie View A&M, which Steve Johnson will be on the panel a bit later. Maybe he chairs the Renewables Committee, but is also responsible for Prairie View A&M. And we've got the University of Texas joining us, who are embryonic in their membership, and similarly LSU are embryonic in their membership. If we can go to the next slide, we'll tell you a bit about what we do. So I think you'll see this a bit repetitively, but you know, the SUT is a forum for oceans, ocean sciences and ocean engineering. I'm from industry. I'm a university person, but also from industry. I was recently with GE Corporate, and I'm sort of responsible for a lot of their offshore activities. Clearly, a lot of you may know about offshore wind, and GE's pretty big in offshore wind right now. You'll have access to industry people in ocean sciences and engineering. And also, there's a lot of industry events that, as professionals, we're all involved with, and we engage our student branches. So you may have heard of things like this, the OTC, Offshore Technology Conference, or the TIBAX Conference, one in Houston and one in San Antonio. And we have groups of students, members, which professionals take around and talk to them about what's going on there as well. Quite often we get those attendances for free, but obviously the student membership is relatively cheap compared to a professional membership. Educational programs, the student branches invite us to, if you like, come along and talk to the student branches about various technical issues as well as others. The main, and I don't know if we'll touch on this, Tricia will touch on this, but our main objective, our raison d'etre, is to generate funds. Those funds then go to student scholarships. So we are basically giving out students scholarships, and all the activities we do are basically oriented around collecting those funds and then distributing those to student scholarships. So it's a not-for-profit. Now, what I want to talk about is the if you're in one of the branches that I've talked about on the previous slide, or if you're not, if you're just joining from somewhere else, what we're trying to do is, and that last slide showed that, is cross-university fertilization. So the branches tend to run themselves. They've got committees, they've got boards, they've got faculty support, and we tend to get asked by those for various things from the SUT, lectures, programs, or support from industry, or tours, physical tours if you're in near a location we have access to. But we're doing shared events, so cross-university fertilization. Steve Johnson said it should be on later. With Prairie View A&M has organised a couple of those already. We're obviously fairly prolific in those because that's what we're doing in society at the moment. So you won't be visiting many of the sites, but you will be doing a lot of things online, so webinars. So shared events become much more relevant. And then competitions, which Patricia is going to talk about in a minute. And then also we have a outreach program to high schools. Andrew Hill drives that, and what we may be looking for is students to volunteer to do that, and I think you might find that quite exciting. Patricia is going to talk next, and Patricia is going to tell you about the young professionals, which are newly people graduated, and we're actually trying to link the young professionals more actively into universities as you relate to more to their vocational. I mean, what do you do when you leave college? How do you plan your careers? And that's really all I wanted to say, Trish. Thanks very much for people for joining. If you're not in a university SUT branch, contact me. If you're a university that doesn't have a branch, and we'll see what we can do. And if you are in a branch, reach out to me, and we'll try and make sure that you get from the SUT what you need. Thanks, Trish.
Okay, so Patricia, if you'll take us through to the young professionals. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, John, for the introduction. And okay, so I am Patricia Varela. I am the chair of the SUT-US Young Professionals Group. So we are, can we go for the next slide? So we are a group of, we the young professionals, we're a small community of young industry or academic professionals. And we technically, for being young professional, we must have less than 10 years of professional experience, but it's not particularly, an exclusive condition. What joined us together is the fact that we work or we research about science and engineering related to underwater technologies for many of the disciplines that may come from. Next slide. So here we have like a little bit of a screenshot of the current members of the board, even though there's a few more that are not present here in this list. But I just thought that this was a good opportunity to remind everybody that, even though I cannot see if I know any of the other attendees in here, if you are interested in participating in the board, we're always looking forward to get more people because the more the merrier. So let us know and reach out to us if you're interested to be part of the fund. So let's go for the next slide. So our mission is basically to promote, to develop soft skills through networking, volunteering, mentoring, and collaboration. So we do collaborate a lot with other members of the society, as this is one of those opportunities. This is one of those examples where there are other members that are launching such a interesting activities such as these competition, and we get to help out as much as we can, and that gives us the opportunity to develop our leadership skills and to share ideas with other young professionals and that are also navigating our early career stage, and also to help out students there on their transition from the workforce, from academia to the workforce, and then for us to give back to the community and build these long-lasting relationships. So, next slide. So one of the things that, we do many activities, right? So some of them are described in here in this graph. So we have, we organize social events, we have participated in panels, we have organize fundraising, and we organize seminars and webinars. We have a series of where during the networking events, we have young professionals presenting about our own work, so we can, steer that conversation towards other people from the society that are from different disciplines that are in the young professional stage like us, so we can understand what is the other people doing from other perspectives, right? From other sides of a particular project. These projects are so large that it involves so many different skills that are required for a single project to complete. So we can see what are the other disciplines, how they do things in order for us to have like a better picture of our offshore industry. And and therefore we provide a lot of professional development activities, and as I mentioned, collaboration with other members. We have, through the society, we have also had the opportunity to present on conferences such as the SUT. So one of the pictures in there is Renette and I that we presented for the OTC conference in 2019, and so on. So it's if you're learning about these and you want to be part of this, just contact us and let us know. Next slide. All right, so I understand there is a part later on today that we're going to talk about one of the programs that we are launching, that is the mentoring program. So I just wanted to give a little bit of an advice that I have. It was given to me, and I want to pass it along to other people as well, which is that if you're going to enroll, or if you're already in a mentor and mentee relationship, your role as a mentee, you have to take advantage of it in the best way possible, right? So make sure that you take the time with these mentoring sessions, and that you do the smart questioning, that that prior to the session, that you have a list of questions that you really want to discuss with your mentor. Prioritize the preferences and your personal issues. List any concern or limitation that you think that you would have in order for you to learn how to overcome them with your mentor. And also, it's important that these sessions are not to hear yourself speak, and every moment of active listening counts. So it is very important to listen, even though you may not agree, but you listen to what mentor has to provide, and be prepared to take notes and reference, to take contact information and things that you want to remember. And that was just a little piece of advice that it was given to me, and I wanted to share. So that's all I have. Thank you.
And Trish, if I could add one comment to that, is that Patricia was the first chairman of the Texas A&M College Station SUT branch, and she was, I think you were in the middle of your PhD then, Patricia. So and so certainly every time we talk to people about setting up new branches, Patricia's on the team.
And Gigam.
Well, yeah, that's it. I've got to stay neutral. I've got to stay neutral.
All right, thank you, Patricia. Thank you, John, for for setting the direction there for the student chapters and the young professionals. Appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to talk to you guys about the online competition. I want to share the information with you. Araceli, yes, are you recording the session? I think so. Yes. Okay. All right, so how do I get involved in the online engineering competition? So students at the college level can participate. That's undergraduates and graduate students. We're going to do two categories. So we'll have students competing against students, and then separately we'll have young professionals competing against young professionals. A young professional is 0 to 3 years experience. And what we did was we've got the similar problem statements for both students and young professionals, but we've added a little bit, or a little extra level of difficulty, I would say, for the young professionals. If you are an experienced professional, we will need judges for the competition. Everything will be done online and virtual, but we will need judges, so you can get in contact with myself or Araceli about how to participate on that level. You could also participate as a sponsor. So far we have 2 sponsors, Subsea, Shuttle, and SIFI. And if your company would like to sponsor the event, then they can also contact Araceli. That'd be great. Next slide. All right, and we are pleased to have 5 problem statements and with a range of subjects. So the first one, underwater thermal garments, that's going to be about material science, thinking about like the Navy SEALs and what what their underwater suit would be made of that would be efficient and effective for their performance, for example. And then we have the remote subsea power system, and that's going to rely on some form of renewable energy for power. We have the submarine underwater rescue in shallow water. So the challenge there is the in shallow water part. And then we have a carbon capture problem, as well as a renewable energy problem. The renewable energy problem is more of a comparative study of the various renewable energy sources. The full problem statements will be available to the confirmed applicants after registration closes and by Monday, February 22nd. So that's when the contest will officially begin. Which runs for a duration of about 1 month. I've got the key dates in a later slide. We'll look at that. Next slide. Okay, I wanted to kind of cover some of the rules for the competition and then also the judging criteria. So, and this information is also on the website. The applications will be reviewed and confirmed on or before February 22nd. So you'll receive a confirmation email that you've been accepted to the competition, and then you will receive the problem statement for February 22nd. We will also make sure with that email that where we send you your problem statement, that we also send you the exact language that we're given to the judges for how they are to judge your entry. So you'll have that. The participants can register as individuals or they can register as a team. And Araceli is going to walk us through the registration on the website a little bit later. The cost of registration is $100 for an early career professional or young professional and $50 for students. And the deliverable is a PowerPoint presentation. So no report is required, only the PowerPoint presentation. And we're allowing up to 20 slides, but I want you to be mindful that and we're also going to do pre-screening of the entries. So if you make it to the finalist, if you become a finalist and you make your presentation yourself to the judges, then you will have a 15-minute slot to make the time period to make the presentation, and then there'll be a 10-minute question and answer part after your presentation. So make sure that you can submit 20 slides, but when it comes to the presentation, you're only going to have 15 minutes. So be mindful of that. Kind of rule of thumb has always been, 1 slide per minute. So just be mindful and time yourself. 20 slides. If it's going to take you over 15 minutes, then you're going to want to reduce the number of slides, but we will allow up to 20. All right, and then you'll be notified if you are a finalist. You'll be notified via email that you've been selected, and you'll be given a time slot to make your final presentation. And again, just for your planning, I've got some key dates coming up, and you'll see when your time slot would be. It's going to be I think the first full week of April is when we're going to do the presentation judging. The judges in general will review each entry based on originality and creativity and intent of the presentation, the technical aspects, the implementation feasibility of your project, and the potential impact and growth. Next slide. Okay, so on the prizes, we will have some cash prizes. That's going to depend on the sponsorships that we get and how many registrations we get. So we will divide out the money according to what comes in for this event to make up the cash prizes. But every participant will receive one year SUT membership, and all of the first place winners in each category will get one registration to a 2021 SUT workshop. And if you pick the and they all have a different cash value, so it's going to be according to what topic you're interested in. But the Subsea awareness course is valued at $2,400, and I think that's probably the top value course that we'll be offering online this year. Okay, next slide. All right, I'm going to let Araceli take us to the website and see how to register.
Thanks, Tricia. Give me just 1 minute to put up the website. Can you see my screen, Tricia?
Yes, I see it.
Okay, so I'm just going to start from the very beginning. You just log into our website, SUT-US.org. And if you scroll down a bit, there's an upcoming events section, and you'll find the online engineering competition in the very first place. And then here you can see all the information that pretty much Tricia just presented. So you can go back to it at any time. All the key information like key dates, topics, prices, and then below you can find also the registration form. There's a link at the top. You can just open it in a different tab, or you can just fill in your the form, the registration form directly on the website. It's just going to ask basic information, your name, last name, institution, your title, are you a student, engineer, etc., your department, if it applies, your email address, phone number if you want to provide it to us, not required, and you must also provide the years of experience. Then you have to choose a competition problem. There's only one option. You can only select one of these. And also if you are a student or a young professional, and if you are participating as an individual or as a team. If you select either way, either one you select, you'll be prompted to another section where you have to enter information about your team. So you can, I think this is important, you can register as an individual who is part of a team, or you can also register the entire team. So I suggest that if you want to complete your registration and payment by yourself, you still select the team option, and then when you're prompted to the next section, you can just enter the name of your team. And we also ask that this is consistent with the way everyone else, the rest of your team members are registering their team, just so we don't have any issues. If you plan to register your entire team and also pay for the entire team, you can do that. There is a question where you can enter all the names of your team members. And that's pretty much all. I think it's a simple survey which you can probably complete in about 2 to 3 minutes. At the end there, you'd be prompted to a page to complete your payment. However, Tricia, I just want to pause here. Are they to complete their payments before, after they are approved to the competition?
I would, thanks for the question. I mean, I guess I was thinking that the payment would be completed, you know, probably at the same time that they register. If for some reason somebody, I don't imagine that anybody would not be accepted to the competition, but the reason that we kind of put that in there to give some space is because the competition is open globally, and there may be some special online competition rules for some other countries, and we wanted enough time to understand what that's going to look like before we confirmed. But I would suggest that you go ahead and make your payment at the time that you register. That way there won't be any delays, I guess, when you get close to the kickoff time on February 22nd. And I expect that, you know, unless there's some unusual situation, everybody will be, that signs up will be accepted for the competition.
Okay, thanks, Tricia. I just wanted to make a quick pause there. And yeah, so once you complete the registration form, there's a link provided in the confirmation message. You can just paste that in a new tab and complete your payment. If you're not sure and you just don't want to mess up or something, or you have some inquiries before making your payment, you can always contact me, and we'll work through the payment process. Here, give me also just 1 second to pull up the payment page.
And Araceli, I have a clarification. I know that we are allowing that people can participate in more than one problem. Are they able to sign up for all of them at the same time, or would they need to complete the registration for one and then go back and do the registration again for the second problem?
No, that's not necessary. I think that's just a quick fix there on the form to allow multiple selection.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not necessary. It's not necessary to do that. Okay, so you should see my screen now, and this is the page to complete your payment. So there's 2 sections if you are a student or if you are a young professional. As I mentioned before, you can pay just for yourself. You can pay for 2 of your team members or 3, or you can pay for the entire team. So if this is the case, you just choose the correct option here. Just enter your name so we can identify you from the registration form, and then you just go ahead and complete your payment through PayPal. And you don't need an account to make your payment, so you don't need to worry about spending time to create a PayPal account. And the same applies to the young professional registration payment. You have options to pay for 1, 2, 3, or 4 members of your team. The same, just enter your name consistently, and that should be all. You should, once you complete your payment, you get a confirmation page, and that's all. I think it'll take about 5 minutes to complete the entire process. And if you run into any questions, you can always contact me. I'm gonna drop my email in the chat box here, so you can have it at hand if you need it. Tricia, I don't know if you have any other questions for me.
No, I don't have any questions. I know that we're going to be taking questions from the audience. I see a I'm not sure how we're going to do that, I guess. I see a questions section. Will people type in their question?
Yes, please use that section to type in your questions, or there's also a raise hand icon there on your control panel. If you do that, I can also unmute you. That's more convenient.
Okay.
Yeah.
Araceli, are you going to take us back to the presentation?
Yes, I'll take you back in just a moment. We do have a question. Well, we have a couple questions here. Please let me know if you get them on your end.
Yeah, so I see this question from Jacob. It says, I registered already, but could only select one problem. I would consider participating in multiple problem statements if given the option. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that we clarified that for you. So I think today you would go in and register for each one, but Araceli is going to go in later and update the website to allow somebody to select more than one, so that when you get to the payment section, you would just pay one time. And then the next question is to confirm, should we pay now or pay after February 22nd? I'm going to say go ahead and pay now. Go ahead and pay now because we want to start the competition on the 22nd. Like I said, I don't expect any hold up for anybody. If we get somebody that joins the competition in another country, then we're just going to take a few minutes with that individual to make sure that we understand the laws for doing online competitions in their country. But otherwise, I expect everyone will be accepted. And yes, the deadline for registration is February 8th. And then between February 8th and February 22nd is when we'll just, like I said, if we need to check legalities on somebody, depending on their country, then that gives us a little time to do that. Oh, look at that, Araceli, you've already updated the website, haven't you? So more than one can be selected.
Yes, that's right. That was an easy fix. So they shouldn't have any problems doing that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
We don't have any more questions, Tricia. I'm not sure if you want to give it a couple more minutes or just continue with the...
Well, if you can go, and please continue to send your questions in and we'll look at those. But Araceli, if you could take us back to the PowerPoint and we'll look at the key dates. And these are also on that same web page where the registration is. So when you click on the link that's in the event calendar, it'll take you to the page. Araceli's just went through that. And you'll have a description of the competition and the key dates are listed there, and then the registration form is below that. But here again are the key dates. So we're in the registration phase, which ends on February 8th, and then the competition begins on February 22nd. That's when you will receive by email the full statement for the problem that you have selected, as well as the specific judging criteria. And then the competition submissions are due on March 19. We will have preliminary screening from March 22nd to April 1st. We gave ourselves a couple of weeks for that. And then the finalist presentations will be the week of April 5th. So what we'll do, that's a Monday. So the Monday through Thursday is we will schedule the finalists to make their presentations to a panel of judges. We expect to have 3 or 4 judges per panel. You'll have 15 minutes to present your topic and then 10 minutes of Q&A with the judges. And then the awards will be made on April 9th. We will have a virtual event for that, so look for that also on the events calendar. And so I can tell you that the awards will be April 9th from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Time. Any other questions on the online competition?
No, there are not any more questions.
Okay, all right then. If you could stop the recording, please.